we started yesterday. We started yesterday with introduction to the topic and to the theme of the summit. And it is the essentials of purpose discovery and career development. So today we'll be talking about personal branding and self-development and the roles it plays in career development and purpose discovery. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And to start with, there's an interview question that most employers like to ask. And the question is, okay, let's assume you're a graduate. They can ask that as a graduate of social course, how do you think you can fit into this organization? So this kind of question is actually a blank check because it is an opportunity to sell yourself to the interviewers, because it gives you access to say everything that you need to say about yourself, and to actually help you. The way you answer the question will determine if you actually get the job or not. So that's it. And if you have not developed yourself to the taste of your employer or your prospective employer, there's likelihood that you will not get the job. And that's why it's important that we treat personal development. I hope you can hear me. Hello?
We can hear you.
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah. We can hear you, boss.
Okay. So and as I said, that particular question, which is how do you think you can fit into this organization, will require you to answer a lot of things. And then part of those things is, what are your goals? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? So, and that question is actually important. Please, can you give me 1 minute? 1 minute. All right, sorry for the break. Like I was saying earlier, it requires you to analyze your strengths, your weaknesses, and your goals. And there's something called SWOT analysis, SWOT analysis, SWOT analysis. I'm sure some of us know what it is, but I'd like to talk about it again. The meaning of SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's the meaning of the acronym SWOT. And what does it imply? Your strength means your best abilities, what you can do well, what you can do without effort, without applying much effort. Those are your strengths. Your weaknesses are otherwise, they are the things that you are not that good in. Although you might be able to do it, but you're not able to do it very well. So those are your weaknesses. And there are opportunities. Like, have you had a platform to actually display these strengths? Have you had a platform to actually display or to use your abilities? So those are your opportunities, and then they can actually help you to develop your career. So the last one is the threats. So these threats are actually very important that we treat them, because they're actually your fears, what you are afraid of, and they can actually make or mar your career if they are not properly handled. So those are your threats. So let me proceed. So I'm sure some of us do not understand what personal branding is, and it is not limited to a stage in life. When we talk about personal branding or personal development, sorry, it is not limited to a stage. It is not something you just do a day and you leave it. It's actually a lifelong process. You constantly improve yourself, constantly develop yourself. It's not a day thing. It's not 2 days. It's not 6 months. It is not 1 year. It is a gradual process and a lifelong process. So and then it is not limited or restricted to self-help. That is when we're talking of personal development, a lot of people, because of the word personal, they feel like it is me. No, it is not that. It is not limited, it is not restricted to self-help. And you can actually still develop yourself by reaching out to other people, and you get to improve yourself. So and then what personal development can actually do for you is a lot, is actually a lot. It will help you to be aware of yourself. That means you are aware of your weaknesses, your strengths, your fears, everything. You are actually, and then you know yourself. Your self-knowledge is actually very important, because and one thing about self-knowledge is self-acceptance. I noticed that most of these organizations that take emotional intelligence courses and personal development courses don't mention self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is actually very important. In fact, it is one of the most important things you need to know, because a lot of people feel that it's about just developing, improving. No. So you must be able to accept the situation you are. You must be able to admit the situation that you are, and from there you'll be able to leverage on them and not come back to that situation. So people always deal with the positive sides of everything. They don't even want to look at the negative side at all, and it's actually going to affect in the long run. I hope we are following.
Yeah, boss, we are following.
Please,
We
if
are
you can
following
hear
you.
me properly, kindly type it. Okay. Very good. All right. So, and then I remember in my personal development journey actually started like about, is it 5 years ago or so, around 2017. So it was about my cousin, and then my cousin was a youth copper at that point, and then he was trying to escape some courses because he was working and he does not have time. So it's the course is Emotional Intelligence by Tama Rescue Foundation. And although I have been hearing of personal development, but I have not been intentional about it. I've not sat down to actually say, okay, let me develop myself. No, I've not done it for once. But that program actually was the beginning of the journey for me. So, and I was taught emotional intelligence, although I've taken other courses apart from that particular one. And in personal development, emotional intelligence is actually very important, because apart from self-awareness, it will teach you self-management, to teach you empathy in relating with others, in actually relating with yourself, your self-care. Like some people the way they actually behave or the way they think is actually against themselves, but they think they're actually working to improve themselves. So relationship management is part of emotional intelligence. Self-motivation is part of emotional intelligence. And then what forms self-development out of all these things I've mentioned are self-awareness, self-management, and self-motivation. Those are the three things that forms the part of self-development. Then the other part is the social adaptation. So what forms that part is actually empathy and relationship management. So we can say that emotional intelligence is actually in two ways. The first way is self-development, and the other way is social adaptation. So, so that's it. So, like I said, what personal development would actually help you to do is actually a lot. It will help you to identify, to build your identity, to help you to build your confidence. For example, you go to an interview place or your place of work and you are not confident enough, you might end up not getting the job, not because you don't have the ability to do that, but because you are not confident. A wise man once said that success is it's 90% confidence and 10% ability. So I've seen people that took freelancing jobs. They don't know a jack about it, about that particular job, but because they were so confident, they eventually got the job and they outsourced it to a better person, and the person actually did the job very well and they got money. So it's actually very, very important that we are confident, and it will help us to improve our career. So another thing about personal development is that it's actually an intentional thing, and it will help us to actually identify and improve our potentials, because this program is about building employability and human capital. And if you are not developing yourself personally, it's almost impossible. In fact, it's impossible for you to build employability or human capital in the first place. So, and then this personal development is actually going to enhance your lifestyle. It's going to help your time management, as the way you manage your time, because the way you manage your time is the way you manage your life, and your life is the sum total of everything, including your career. Because I've seen a lot of people that they call it work-life balance, and they tend to separate their work from their life. They feel like their life is their work. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that is, some people call it work-life balance. So if we are actually going to get a job should be something that even when we are at home, like, it should be normal to be able to do it. It should not be like, okay, I have to get to my office, or I have to, because before I can actually do. No. Because that will actually help us. And initiating a life enterprise, personal development will help you on that. I remember in 2019, when I was thinking about Krawdwise and all, and I did not know what to do because I was actually limited in some knowledge. So I had to start reading, start learning, start meeting people and all before I can actually start it. So if you are not developing yourself personally, it will be almost impossible to start a life enterprise, something that will last. It's actually very impossible, and everything starts with you. Starts with you. So that's the first part. So okay, let me go to the second part. I hope we are following. Hello, I hope we are following.
Yeah, we are following you.
Okay. So, yesterday, so while I was introducing, I spoke about, I hinted us about something like passion, and I said there is that even though you are not paid, that the career path that you intend to actually choose should be something that you are passionate about to some extent, even if you have other things that you are also passionate about, because passion is not limited to one thing alone. And we must also understand that passion can diminish. Passion can actually diminish. You can have passion, you can have real passion for something, and in the long run, you end up not having passion for it again. It's actually possible and it's happening. You understand? So, and if we want to start this journey of personal development, we must start doing things that we have passion for, so that we will not frustrate ourselves. Maybe later on, we can now start doing things we are not passionate about, then mixing it. But at the start, we should do what we are passionate about, so that we won't frustrate ourselves, so that we will actually enjoy the journey. And how do we know what this passion, what our passions or passion is? There's something called pain and anger. It's not until somebody beats you or somebody annoys you before you can have the pain or anger. While growing up, you might find yourself in a situation whereby you grew up in somewhere very dirty, or somewhere very it's actually a very low income area or community. And while growing up, you were like, oh God, if I have money, I will actually solve these problems because of the effect it has on the society. And then that's actually pain and anger, and it can turn to a passion actually. So things you have gone through in life can actually be your passion and can end up being your career. So and then there's something called uniqueness in personal development, and that's where self-confidence comes in again. If your uniqueness is actually centered around your self-confidence, so it is not about your similarities with other people, but your confidence in yourself. Because people tend to measure, okay, I am better than this person, so I am great. I am better than this person, so I am great. No, you're able to compare your past and your present and then you'll be able to know where you stand. So so I'd like to share some things, because I said that personal development starts with you. And I want to share some things that will actually help us in personal development. So the first one is investing in yourself. And it starts with investing in your mind. So out the and another thing is body, investing in your body. There's something we do like physical fitnesses or exercise or exercises. So they actually boost our mental energy. They help us think very well, to think clearly and think straight. So these things are actually part of investing in yourself. So you might find some people, it's not about losing weight alone when you say you are doing all this physical fitness or something. It can actually help you it can actually help is investing in your spirit. People usually shy away from this part because they feel like it's actually because, and I noticed that people, any subject of spirituality, people tend to run away. I don't know, and it's not something that ought to be, because those are our belief system. Those are the things we actually that actually form our behavior, our thinking and everything. So we should not shy away. Things that actually benefit us, things that are our principles in life, we should not shy away from them. Another thing about the passion dots. So, for example, you might have an idea, of let's say you have an idea of a social media platform, and then you have another idea of let's say a microfinance bank or something. So you might tend to connect these ideas together and get something entirely new. It's part of so it can actually help you to actually find a career, a new career entirely. So, and okay, let me share some secrets with us. There's something we call curation. I don't know if you know. Please, if you know anything about curation, you can just type it so I can know the number of people that knows it's here. I can know you are following as well. So if you know about curation, you can just type yes or no, or please explain.
Is he at curation of it?
I mean the meaning. The meaning. Okay. Curation actually means okay, let me just speak Nigerian as a Nigerian now. It actually means stealing. So, but you are not, it's not like you are stealing directly, but okay, let me give us an example. When Isaac Newton was asked, or when he was accused of stealing the idea of calculus, he mentioned the quote that is actually very popular. Please mute your mic. Hello, please mute All right. So when he was accused of stealing the idea of calculus, he said that that it's not like he's very good, but he stands on the shoulder of giants. So curation is like standing on the shoulder of giants. It's like learning, borrowing brilliances from something that is already existing. So, and every problem has a seed in the solution. So, and if you are borrowing or you are trying to steal an idea from somebody, it's not like you will steal the entire thing, like you steal the entire model of the idea. Actually, I've stolen some ideas personally, and I've actually been successful in turning it into my own because I was able to add some little touches or brilliances to it. And it's when I show it to people, it actually sounds like something very new, but I know it's not something new because I know where I got it from. So there's something called research. Research is actually stealing from many people, because most time when we say you should do research, it's not like you're looking for something that is actually very, very new. You just go from, okay, what has this person done that relates very well to this? What has this person done that relates to it? Then you try to put it together and you get a kind of knowledge. So, and getting knowledge is part of part of personal development, because you're improving your mental or your intellectual abilities and all. So Picasso, an artist, an Italian artist, said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." So, and then when you try to copy people, it's not like you copy the entire thing. You can actually still copy an opposite, something very opposite to that same thing. That doesn't mean you're not copying, but you're trying to borrow brilliance from what is already existing. You can copy the exact opposite. For example, okay, so a company is actually solving this particular problem. Okay, how can I solve it? Then you look at the areas where the company is lagging while solving that same problem. You can capitalize on that and have something entirely new. That doesn't mean you have not taken from the idea, but if you are explaining to somebody that doesn't know, the person will think that you're actually doing something new. And then you can actually still borrow brilliance from similar sectors. That maybe there's a similar sector to your own sector, maybe in your career. You can look at it and borrow something from it and capitalize on it and have something entirely new. And that will help you in solving problems, because solving problems is actually a major thing in getting employed. Understand? So when you get to an interview and they ask you, how do you think you can fit into this organization? Maybe peradventure you have studied the organization, you discover that this particular organization, okay, let me give us an example. For example, you went to a bakery and you discover an alternative to yeast, to using yeast to bake bread or any other thing. And you can actually tell them that I know how to do this, and seeing that they can actually employ you. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
will
hear me?
understand. Yes, I understand what you're trying to say, boss.
Okay. So improving ourselves. This will fast track our progress in life. We should be able to build what will help others to build. Build what will help others to build. Secondly, build what others build on. The first one is build what will help others to build. Then the second one is build what others build on. So actually help us. And so any questions so far? If you have any question, please put it in the box, in the comment box, so I can check it and answer them as soon as possible. If you have any question. All right. So as I was saying, in personal development, while explaining the emotional intelligence parts while starting, I talked about social adaptation, and that is dealing with people, because I don't know if you know that you are a brand. Brand is not necessarily a product or a service or something. You can actually be a brand once you're able to create a perception to people and they're able to key into it. You are a brand. So people buy you actually. And how do people buy you? When you create positive emotional experiences around them. That will make people, for example, I've seen people get employed just because they made the recruiter happy, or they made the interviewer, they made him happy, and they got employed because they were able to make the interviewer happy instead of other people that were also applying for that job. So, and How do we do that? We must be able to connect. We have to connect with people. We must be able to build trust. I will emphasize on that confidence again. We must be confident. Then we must be able to solve problems. We must be able to connect. We must be confident. We must build trust, and we must be able to solve problems. Those things will actually create positive emotional experiences for us, and people will buy whatever idea or whatever thing we are bringing to the table or present or pitching. In fact, these things I'm saying is not only applicable in applying for interview, it's also applicable in pitching your business ideas. It's very much applicable because people can get funding because of the way they're actually related with the coach or the what do they call them? The referees for a pitching competition or something. And okay, that's it. Please, if you have any question, you can just drop it. I will check it and answer as I'm explaining to you. So it's beyond just selling, because people say sell yourself, sell yourself, sell yourself. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. So I said we are a brand, and the brand that we are is actually a promise of the value that people will receive if they invest their time, their energy, their everything in you. That's why you are a brand. You have a promise of value that you give to people if they invest their time, their energy, their resources, their money, anything in you. And we all know the way to be rich. You must be able to get other people's money. It's as simple as that. So, and building a brand, I said it yesterday, and I will relay on it again. You must be able to know what will people say about you is very important. How would they feel about you? That's the creating positive experiences, positive emotional experiences. That's where it comes in again. What will be their experience be with you? Do you care about them? Caring about people is very important. That's why empathy is part of emotional intelligence. Caring about people is very, very, very important. It's not just being sympathetic and sympathetic. So empathy is actually very important. And how do we do that? How do we create that? We must actually show care, that we care about people. For example, when you apply for a job, the best way to get a job is to show that you care about the company. To show that you actually care about the company.